Hello everyone, welcome to the next video lecture, and in this video lecture we are going to see how to set up and configure a single node Hadoop cluster. So for this particular exercise we are using the virtual machine which is been installed in the virtual box. So in the previous videos we have seen how to install a virtual machine in a virtual box, right? So here we have a Ubuntu operating system configured in a virtual box as a virtual machine, right? So what is meant by Hadoop can be said as an open source framework which will be storing and processing large amount of data. Okay, so for processing we will be using this, and it is widely used for big data applications like data mining, machine learning, and predictive analysis. Okay, for this work only this particular Hadoop is being used. Clear? So in the distributed systems on the cloud computing, we will be widely using this particular Hadoop for managing the data. Okay, so managing large data. Okay, managing large data. Clear? So in this particular session, we are going to install the Hadoop and we are going to configure it in this particular operating system, right? So in order to do that, first we need to do some prerequisite step. Okay, so from prerequisite test has to be done initially, right? So that is we need to check the machines and we need to verify whether the machine or the operating system is eligible or it is ready to install and configure the Hadoop. Clear? So for that we are going to use the terminal. Okay, so we are going to use the terminal, and in the terminal only we are going to perform all the operations. Clear? So first initially what we are going to do is we are going to check whether this particular operating system contains the latest package list. Okay, so which is from the Ubuntu repository, right? So whether the operating system contains the latest packages which are needed for configuring the Hadoop, or which are needed for updating the data, updating the softwares, right? Right. So for that we are going to use a command set to be sudo apt update. So here the sudo means this will be giving a super user privilege to our operating system, right? Apt update means it will be fetching the latest package list from the Ubuntu repository. Okay, so why we need to do this is we need to get the latest software version while installing the packages. Okay, so in order to get the latest software version we are going to use this. Okay, and here we can click enter, and here it is asking the password for our login, right? And after giving the password, what will be happening? The system will be checking, and here we have seen that 187 packages which are been available inside the operating system is upgraded. Okay, so now the system got upgraded, right? And next what we need to do is we need to install the Java. Okay, so we need to install the Java package for installing and configuring the Hadoop. Clear? So for that also we are going to install it in the super user privilege or in the root. Okay, so sudo apt then install, and here we need to install the JDK, right? So JDK version 8 we are going to install. So this -y which we have given at the last, what will be doing is it will be automatically confirm the installation. Okay, so for that only we are using this, right? So apt install means it will be installing the package. Open JDK 8 JDK means it will be installing the Java development kit version 8 which is needed for the Hadoop. Okay, so now we are starting the installation, and here what happens is the JDK or the open JDK will be getting downloaded from the internet and it will be getting installed in the machine. Okay, so we shall wait for the installation to complete. And now what happens is JDK has been installed successfully, right? So now we need to check whether which version is being installed. Okay, so which Java version got installed, right? So Java compiler and the Java version we need to check. For that we are using the command set to be Java version and Java C version, right? So here you can see the JDK version is 1.8, JDK runtime environment is 1.8, and JDK 64-bit server is been installed in this virtual machine. Okay, so overall the Java C or the Java installed is 1.8 version. Clear? So this is the installation of Java in our operating system. Okay, so which is required for running the Hadoop, right? So next we need to install SSH. Okay, so we need to install SSH, that is SSH server and client, which is needed for uh, making the communication between the nodes. Okay, so this will be this. So for the Hadoop, it will be requiring the passwordless SSH access for communication between the nodes. For that, we are going to install this SSH server and client. Okay, another command for it is sudo apt install open SSH server, and we need to install client also. Open SSH client, and it will be automatically confirming the installation. Okay, so now what happens is the SSH server and client will be getting downloaded from the internet, and it will be installed in our machine. Okay, so now the installation got over, right? And here and in the operating system, if you see, two users are available. One is Gust and another one is Anto, right? So here we are going to create another one dedicated Hadoop user. Okay, so for that we are going to use sudo add user HDOOP, right? So I am giving the username to be HDOOP. Okay, so here we are creating a new user with the name Hadoop, right? So why we are going to do this is, so running Hadoop under a separate user will be preventing the security risk. Okay, so for that only we are creating a new user, right? So here we need to create a password for this Hadoop also. Okay, right. So here we are giving the password, again retype it, and here it is asking for the name. Okay, so if you need, you can give the name, or else you can leave it. Okay, so I'm not going to give any data, and I'm giving the information to be correct. Okay, so now what happened is a new user got created, right? And here if you click this button, you can see the new user which we have created here. Okay, so already we have guest session and Anto. Additionally, we got the new user set to be Hadoop. Okay, right? And now we are switching our user to Hadoop, right? So here we are going to do the installations and everything inside the Hadoop user, right? So we are going to switch it to Hadoop, right? So here in the terminal you can see the current user is Anto at Anto, right? So now we are going to switch to Hadoop, right? So now it has been, sorry, so yeah, space has to be given between. Okay, the password, it is asking for the password. Okay, now you can see Hadoop at Anto. Okay, so inside the virtual machine Anto, the user is Hadoop, right? So here you can see Anto, and inside that we are created the Hadoop, right? So now we have given the rights to Hadoop. Okay, so now we have switched to Hadoop user, right? And next what we are going to do is we are going to use the encryption and passphrase. Okay, so we are going to generate a SSH key pair. Okay, so that we are going to perform here. Okay, so here we have created a RSA key pair, right? So SSH key gen, so it will be generating the SSH key pair, then -t RSA, it will be using the RSA encryption, and -p is it will be allowing automatic logins, and -f and all these things, so it will be saving the private key inside .sh /id -rsa folder. Okay, so there the all the key pair will be getting stored. Okay, and next what we need to do is we need to append the public key to the authorized key for passwordless SSH authentication, right? So we need to append the public key, right? So for that the command is, so this is the command for appending the public key, right? So now the public key will be getting appended in the background. Okay, and then we need to change the permission to read and write for the owner only. Okay, so to only the owner we are going to provide the permission, right? So for that we need to use the command. So this is the command for performing the permission change. Okay, so now we have performed the permission change. Okay, and then we need to test the SSH connection to the local host, right? So for that, SSH local host, right? So now here we got uh, whether we need to connect, right? So it is asking our permission, and yes, so we need to give yes, type it yes, right? So now the connection has been made. Okay, so permanently the local host has been added up, right? So these are the prerequisite tests which we need to perform uh, before installing the Hadoop. Okay, right? So these are the prerequisites, right? And next we need to perform the downloading and installation of Hadoop, right? So here I am going to clear the screen, and for downloading and installing we need another command, that is we need to get the location of the Hadoop and from where we are going to download it. So this is the location from where we are going to download the Hadoop, right? So now what will be happening is from that particular location the Hadoop software will be getting downloaded and in a zip file format. Okay, so in a WinRAR format it will be getting downloaded, right? So after downloading we need to unpack it and then we need to install it. That is, we need to perform the configuration options or configuration operations. Okay, so let's wait for the download to get completed. Now the downloading got completed, right? So from that particular location the Hadoop software got downloaded, right? So here the wget is the command used for downloading the software from that particular location, right? So now what we need to do is we need to uh, unzip this particular file. Okay, so it is in a package, so what we need to do is we need to unzip that particular file. Okay, so for that we need to use a command set to be tarxzf. Okay, so this is the command used for extracting from the package. Okay, so now here what happens is the file will be getting extracted. Okay, so file got extracted now, right? So now let's see where this particular file is being placed, or where whether that particular file has been extracted or not. Okay, so here you can see, right? So in this particular location you can see the red colored file is nothing but the packaged file and the blue colored directory is nothing but the extracted file. Okay, right? So now what happened is all the file got extracted and Hadoop is now ready to install. Okay, now we shall clear the screen, and next we need to uh, do the configuration process, right? So for doing the configuration process, some 6 files we need to edit, or we need to add the configurations to some 6 files which are present inside the Hadoop. Okay, so that we shall do one by one, right? So first what we need to do is we need to set the environmental variables. Okay, so for that the command is sudo nano dot bash or c. Okay, so here the password of Hadoop user has to be given. So if this particular uh, error comes, you just uh, change it the user to the normal user, right? So sudo space Anto, right? So now it is moved to Anto, right? Okay, so now here what you need to do is you need to grant the Hadoop the root privilege. Okay, so you have to give root privilege to Hadoop, right? So for that sudo add user HDOP sudo, right? So sudo add user Hadoop sudo, right? So password for Anto. So now what happened is the Hadoop user has been granted with the privilege. Okay, so privilege, right? So now what we shall do, we shall perform the operation, or else we shall move to Hadoop, HDOP. Okay, okay. And now we shall perform the environment variable set. Okay, okay. So now here you got the environmental variable place. So here we need to add the configuration, right? So we have uh, some 7 to 8 locations we need to tag here, right? So these are the exporting files which we need to, or we need to give the path. Okay, so what are the path, where that particular, what is the home for Hadoop, where we have installed the Hadoop, what is the MapRed homepage, common homepage, HDFS homepage, yarn homepage, what are the common library, what is the path of the Hadoop, everything we need to specify here, right? So similar to that of setting environmental variable for Java in your my computer, advanced properties or advanced setting of my computer, right? Similarly here we are going to set the environmental variables for Hadoop. Okay, so after this, after entering, we just get exit. Okay, control X and then click Y and then click enter, right? So here what happens is all the environmental variables have been added up in your machine. Okay, and then you just give this command source tilde /BASHRC, right? So here it will be, the changes will be getting applied to this particular current section. Okay, okay. So for the current session, so here you have an export identifier. So we shall move here last. Okay, here you can. So here everything is set here, so it doesn't matter, I think. So here we can give a equal to x y enter. Okay, so now everything is set here. Okay, so our changes have been applied, right? So next what we need to do is we need to set Java path for Hadoop, right? So for that we need to uh, change the file set to be Hadoop env.sh. Okay, so Hadoop env.sh. So here we are going to paste, open the Hadoop env.sh location, and here in the last we need to set the Java path for this particular Hadoop, right? So we need to set the Java path. Okay, so I just come to the end. Okay, so here we need to set the Java path. Okay, that is we need to specify the installation directory of Java for the Hadoop. So this is your path, right? So here we are specified the path. Okay, so then can exit, save, enter. Okay, so now we have set the Java path for Hadoop, right? So next what we need to do is we need to configure the Hadoop data file system, right? So for that we need to take the file set to be Hadoop core site.xml has to be opened. Core site.xml file has to be opened, and here you need to set the environmental variables, or we need to set the properties for this particular Hadoop, right? So inside this configuration tab you need to set the property, right? So the property will be having the name, value, and the description, right? So that has to be given here. So here you can see the property, name, value, and description. So base for other temporary directories, as well as the name for the default file name, file system we have been specified here, right? So this is the configuration we are doing for this HDFS, right? So now we shall come out of this and click enter, right? So here we have configured the HDFS also, right? So Hadoop data file system also we have configured, right? And next we need to do the configuration for the name node and the data node, right? So that name node and data node, they are the two nodes which are being available inside the Hadoop cluster, right? So for that, what we need to do is we need to change the HDFS site.xml file, HDFS.site.xml file, right? So here also the same way we need to insert the properties inside this configuration file, right? So here also the same way we are giving the configuration for the name node and the data node, right? So and then exit, right? So now HDFS is also ready, and then we need to configure the MapReduce framework, right? So for that, the location is mapred, M-A-P-R-E-D dot site dot XML, mapred. Okay. So here also the same way you need to give the properties. So you have given the properties, or you have configured here that control X, Y. Okay, and the sixth file to be changed is yarn.site. Okay, so this particular yarn is used for resource manager, right? So for resource managing we will be using this yarn, right? So here in place of red, let's give it as yarn. Okay, so here also the same thing. If I need to do, you have to give the properties here. Okay, so here we have pasted all the properties. Now save it and come out, right? So these are the 6 files which we have changed. Okay, so 6 files which we have changed. Okay, so first we have given the set the environmental variables, and then inside the Hadoop we have changed these 5 different files. Okay, right? So now the second step got over, right? So configuring first one, prerequisite test has been done, that is the needed softwares have been installed first, and then we have done all the configurations, right? And the third step is we need to launch the Hadoop. Okay, so we need to launch the Hadoop, right? So first what we need to do is we need to format the HDFS name node. Okay, HDFS name node hyphen format, right? So it will be formatting the HDFS name node. Okay, so here the HDFS file node got formatted, right? And now what we need to do is we need to switch to the Hadoop user, and we need to enter the script directory. Okay, so we need to switch to the Hadoop user and enter the script directory. Okay, so cd tilde backspace Hadoop 3.2.4 backslash yes bin. Okay, so this is the space. Okay, control L, right? So this is the position, and now what we have done is we have entered to that particular Hadoop, right? So now here we shall see, so what are the different files which are been available inside that particular folder, right? And here we shall start the HDFS services, we shall start the yarn services, we shall stop the services, all those things we can perform here. Okay, so now what we shall do is we shall start the uh, DFS service. Okay, so DFS dot sh. Okay, so start DFS dot sh, right? So now what happened is the name node, data node, which are been corresponding to the Hadoop got started here, right? So name node got started, data node got started, and secondary name node also got started here. Okay, so if you need to stop this, what we can do, you can use the stop. Okay, so here you have a command set to be stop dfs.sh. Okay, so if you need to stop it, we shall stop stop. Okay, so now the name node, what are the nodes which have been started got stopping here. Okay, so similarly if you need to start the yarn also, you can start. Okay, so dot start yarn dot sh. Okay, you can start the yarn. So here what happens is the resource manager node manages which are associated with that yarn get started here. Okay, so if you need to stop here, you can stop it. Okay, so what are the things got started? It is getting stopped here, right? And also, if you need to display the running process or a running Java process, you can use the command set to be JPS. So it will be giving you what are the process which are been running. Okay, for example, take I am starting yarn. So now the resource and node managers got started. Now I am going to see the Java running process, right? So here you can see Java process is running, or Java process service is getting running, and at the same time resource manager and the node manager is also running in the background. Okay, so like this we can we can see the resources what are been running, as well as you can start or stop the services. Okay, right? So this is the procedure how to configure a Hadoop cluster in your operating system or in your virtual machine. Okay, so I hope you have understood. See you in the next video lecture. Thank you.